Hello, guys, and welcome back to the podcast. You know how people say smart people learn from other people's mistakes? Well, that was my living motto for so many years. I used to live by that, and I thought it was one of my best qualities that I could watch what other people did wrong and just skip the pain part. I would say things like, I don't need to go through that. I already saw how it ends. And to be fair, it saved me from a lot of heartache, wasted time, and unnecessary drama in my life, especially during teen years and 20s where everybody's just learning through experience. I was choosing to learn from others constantly, but it also saved me from something else, life itself. That motto and that way of living was becoming limiting for myself. And I started to recognize how much I wasn't living my own life and wasn't taking chances and wasn't living courageously, but I was operating more out of fear. And that's what I want to talk about today. When being smart actually becomes your biggest limitation. And this might be something that you can relate to in some levels. So here's the thing, being wise, being observant, being the person who gets it before everyone else, it can feel empowering as it did for me. But sometimes that's actually not wisdom. I discovered for myself that it was fear wearing glasses. It's our way of saying, I don't trust myself to go through that. So we hide behind being smart. And that used to be me. I wasn't being wise. I was just being careful, hyper aware, over calculating. I was calling it maturity, but it was really control because control felt safer than uncertainty. And I couldn't even say that I was trusting God enough. And it was truly a lack of faith on my part because you have to surrender. You have to trust that someone has your back, that He has your back. And I wasn't. I was living more in fear of all the unknown and all the possibilities that this world can bring. And that kept me stuck. Here's what I realized. I can't live life like a spreadsheet. You can't analyze your way into wisdom. You can read the books, listen to the podcast, observe all the mistakes other people made, but some things you just have to feel for yourself. You can't understand heartbreak without your heart breaking. You can't learn courage by just watching brave people. And you can't grow confidence by avoiding failure. At some point, being smart just keeps you stuck in observation mode. You're on the sidelines, nodding like, oh, yeah, that's a lesson. But you're actually not in the game of your life. And sometimes we cover it up as we're discernment. And I truly believe, yes, God gives us the gift of discernment, and we should pray for that gift and use it because it does spare us from lots of situations that we don't have to go through to learn that lesson. And it protects us from maybe other people's intentions that are not very benevolent. And so definitely develop the skill of discernment and also always trusting your instincts. I'm a big believer of that. Your body also lets you know things. Learn to trust your body. Learn to trust God, the Spirit, and that gift that He gives us. But wisdom really isn't about avoiding risk, right? We tell ourselves we're being realistic sometimes, and we don't go for that thing. We don't take that chance. And the truth is that wisdom isn't supposed to replace courage. It's supposed to inform it. The goal isn't to stop being smart. That's not what I'm saying here, but it's to be smart and brave. To say, okay, I've learned from others, but now I'm going to live my own version of it because your life is very unique to you. The experiences that you need are for you and you only. And the versions of opportunities and experiences that you should have for yourself look very different than somebody else. And that same path that they're taking that had a different outcome could look very different for you as well, because your wisdom doesn't mean anything if you never test it. You can't just download lessons. You have to live them. And that's where discernment meets daring, where you stop being the observer and start being the experiencer. That's when wisdom becomes yours. So real talk, where in your life are you using I'm just being smart as a cover for fear? Where have you been sitting out because you already know how it ends? What if this time you let yourself try anyways, not recklessly, but courageously, not because you need to prove anything, but because you deserve to live your own lessons? Because yeah, smart people learn from others, but wise people, they also know when it's time to learn from experience. And that might mean that business that you're thinking about, that career change, taking a chance on a relationship. You can't learn those things through other people. So take a chance on yourself and realize when fear is taking over being smart. Thanks for listening today. If this episode hit home for you, share it with someone who's been stuck in playing it safe. Remember, being smart is great, but being alive, that's the real wisdom. Take care, my friends.